Oh, hi, weekend twofer. Now, I plan to have actually just have one video for the week to talk about Kamen Rider 3. But then again, as it is with the new jeans and Minhee, well, it's actually just new jeans, but of course, we're not stupid. I know it's still Minhee Jin. And with that saga that keeps on giving, something just happened. Actually, two things happened, really. So, first off, we talk about a live stream done by New Jeans. So they made an account and they went live, which has since been already been deleted, wherein they talk about their support for Minhee Jin, and also detailing the mistreatment that they have incurred with Hybe. And then they were asking about, no, they were, I guess it's an ultimatum or a demand from Hybe to reinstate Minhee Jin as CEO and to bring Adore as it once was, which is the CEO handles both business and creative. Now, that doesn't that if it just happens on that, if it's just on that isolated video, in which they then removed, okay, people might think that, yeah, they might have been showing support. But then again, what recently happened just is that Minhee Jin has filed an injunction, from her being removed as CEO, and also from her being an internal producer or internal board member. So it's pretty convenient, the timeline wherein there's the New Jeans did the video, and then Minhee Jin bringing up that injunction. It's pretty convenient, isn't it? At the same time, the words that the New Jeans members were saying I don't want to discount that maybe that they may have learned terms, or they might have other terms. But then again, we're talking about well, I guess women, since only Hyen is the only one who's still a minor. But we're talking about girls who started out as minors, and they have been under Minhee Jin for so long, and the terms that they use. Another thing also is that I guess it's just my personal opinion that, coming from a guy who has worked in corporate, who has worked in big companies, well, not big, I mean, worked in companies, multinational companies. But that's basic. I would just have to say it's practically shooting yourself in the foot. Number one, the way they, in a society which is in Korea, in a society wherein they honorifics are very important, they still referred to Minhee Jin as Minhee Jin CEO, like Minhee Jin CEO, while they referred to Bang Si-hook and their current CEO disrespectfully. If you're an older Korean, you'd take offense on that. And I'm not sure if for kids, like, I mean, they're not kids, but then again, these are barely into their adults. Would they do that? I mean, another thing also is that they're talking about mistreatment. Number one, the thing with Hani talking about the manager of another group, which, by the way, she did not mention, right? She did not mention that group. Now everybody, the toxic bunnies, are again thinking it's Eyelit, right? Now, even if it's Eyelit, take note that that she did not mention the group, and then they greeted each other, and then on her way out, the manager said something, right? Okay, now if it was Eyelit, after everything Minhee Jin has said, won't you think that they'd be very wary of you? Even if it's another group, let's say it's Le Seraphim, after everything Minhee Jin has said, do you think there's going to be, and do you think they're gonna be welcoming you with open arms? I mean, I think not. Of course, there's going to be a little bit of distrust there. Also, At what other point are they talking about? At what point are they being mistreated? They want creative and business at the same time. But the point of the matter is, do they even know what's the difference? The point of Hybe is that every Hybe label separates creative from business. I know I'm sure it's going to be slower. Why? Because of course, if creative thinks of something, it has to go through the business side, right? Because they'll hold budget, they'll see connections and all that. I guess with Adore, since Min Hee-jin handled both roles, she can do it quicker. But then again, because of that, look what happened. Look what happened to that director. First off, everything that's New Jeans and every video is Hype is Adore property. Second, that director threw a hissy fit. That's all he did, because Adore asked him to remove one video which the sponsor did not like, which the one advertiser did not like. Of course, they have to follow that because it's the advisor. They're the one because they're the advertiser. They paid for it. They paid for that film. They're I guess sponsoring New Jeans, right? So if you put it in another platform, even if it's your platform, they say it is his platform. It is his work. Yes, it is work. But the ownership of that is still with Adore. And if that company has a sponsor or an advertiser who did not like the product, since I paid for it, I want it taken down. And what did he do? Threw a hissy fit, took everything out, took all his videos out, and then made a big show out of it. Which, by the way, it's back. And Adore had to explain they just wanted one video removed. And then he came back and saying that what they're doing is wrong. What are you talking about? They're just talking about one video. It's not stopping creativity because it was sponsored. So if I do something and it was sponsored by, let's say, this one, like the Wisconsin Badgers, right? And they're sponsored, and they did something, and they wanted to remove because they paid for it. That's the problem. I guess that's a problem with what Min Hee-jin had, because since she controlled both sides, she can make deals with these groups. And take note that company is owned by KakaoTalk, all right, who had problems with Hybe and with also had Hybe and SM, which is another story altogether. But then again, it's hard to not think about it, but it's crazy. And the New Jeans girls talked about that also with that director, and that shows how little they know about business. That shows how little they know about what's happening around them, which makes their statements, especially asking Min Hee-jin to be back as the way it was, obviously coached. Because if they didn't understand that, then how can you make statements on making sure that the business side and the creatives do together? They know nothing. And if you felt something, if you really felt strongly about something, why are you reading from a script? I mean, but at the end of the day, I also have to say that this is an example of kids being groomed. You know, they've been isolated, which is perfect. For what Min did, she isolated them, so that all they know is what Min Hee-jin tells them, and that's what's happening now. All they know is what's being told, which is a better reason for Hybe or Adore, which is Adore now, the new Adore, to get Min Hee-jin out, so at least they can get a new group of people to tell them what's happening, to tell them what to do. But Min Hee-jin has already spoiled them too much, wherein it was known that before they went on the comeback, they had even a vacation. They were given millions of dollars. Their families were given millions of dollars, and these are things that I'm sure I'm sure Big Hit never did, never gave BTS. I'm definitely sure 17 never got that. Eyelet has been working non-stop even despite team injuries, and Hypen has been on tour since forever. You know, so the to us just did their comeback. So I'm sure they're working on things already. So these girls were pampered. They never felt the hardship. If you're talking about the roach-infested house or where Minji lived, well, if you parents really cared enough, why don't you get the exterminator? No, it's one thing to show support, but this really shows how much they're brainwashed, and this also shows how little they know about what's happening around them. Worst is the toxic bunnies are supporting them as well. But the thing is, we're not really so sure because most commenters I've known has the same view as I am. They're literally kicking themselves in the foot. Take note that they have a 7-year contract. They've only been there for a little over 2 years. So if they need to leave, well, if I'm Hype, you're gonna pay for it, and you're gonna pay hefty on this, or I'm gonna put you on limbo. But then again, they're a business, you know. Hype would always think the bottom line, and of course they need to make money off them. So if I were them, I won't. But if you wanna leave, pay up. It's a little different than 50-50, or since 50-50 was obviously but actually it's very a little bit more similar since a person, the givers, wanted to take them away, while this one is Min Hee-jin basically wants a door for herself. Pretty similar. But then again, this will hurt because number one, I don't think 50-50 has a 7-year contract. New Jeans has a 7-year contract. So that amount's going to be very big. And well, another thing is the perks that they got from Min Hee-jin is under Hype's money. That's Hype's money. They made money off it, fine. But then again, it should also go to Hype. So they made money, and take note that they're apparently for the financials, they're not the top money maker out next to BTS. It was actually BTS, there's 17, and Hypen and TXT. They're not even the second one. Well, of course, if Min Hee-jin was spending all this other stuff on them, well, of course, that will lessen the profit. Right? So personally, I don't think that Hybe will let them go. I think Hybe might punish them, which I think they should. But then again, the injunction Min Hee-jin's coming. I think she's trying to build something up again. She's trying to build trouble. But the things, if she goes on press conference, I think it's gonna hurt her. People already are kind of sick of her, and a lot of her lies and a lot of her other stuff has already come out. So it's not gonna work well for her. Now she's using New Jeans. Now she's using the director. But then again, another thing also is that I think the New Jeans were saying that Min Hee-jin didn't know, but apparently it came from Min Hee-jin that she did have an idea about it, and by doing so, and she just let it happen, which I guess could even hurt her contract with Adore, because this time she's now hurting Adore. She's not hurting. What she did before was protecting Adore and hurting Hybe, but at this point it's now hurting Adore. So I think Adore might have something there as well. And take note that Adore is now being run by professionals. I mean, Min Hee-jin is a professional, but we're talking about an HR person leading Adore right now. So I guess Adore, new Adore will definitely be doing something, of course, with plus the injunction, but there's also lawsuits as well. I'm not sure how New Jeans would get out of this unscathed, but then again, New Jeans, for my sake, I hope that they can put separation between Minhee and New Jeans so that New Jeans can get to see the world from another point of view. Actually, in the end of the day, that's what I want for New Jeans. I want them to get out of Minhee shadow, to see the world, because all they knew about for the longest time is Minhee. So please, I just hope that they get to find something. They get to see a different way. And for Hybe and Adore, to really take care of the new Jeans without coddling them. I think it's Hybe because they are an asset. They are an asset to Hybe. So ruining an asset is stupid. But then again, I hope that they get to once they get rid of Minhee, they get to keep New Jeans and mold them better. I do hope so. I'm sure it'll take a while, because we're talking about Western raised kids with Hani and Daniel, and honestly they look very petulant to me at this point. I've stopped standing them already since what they did since Bubblegum. So they look petulant. They really did look petulant. So so I just hope that, but at the same, I find them responsible, but then again, I do pity them, and I do hope that they get out of Minhee control, and so that they can see the world better. On another note, Le Seraphim did so well. I found that they did so well in the VMAs. Of course, it's funny. I started really getting into K-pop using JYP, but I've been loving the other Hybe groups. The Seraphim, amazing. Chewy's live stages. She does have that really stony face, that doesn't have that much emotion, but you can see she's doing her best, and she's so beautiful. Eyelet's comeback. It's going to be in October. I'm very excited and scared at the same time. I hope they do good. And I'm really, really waiting for it. And by the way, Eyelet's Minju is going to be replacing Yunche by October as host. So I'm wishing her well. But then again, thank you for this one. And New Jeans. I don't know. It's hard to hate them, but it's also hard to support them. So I just hope that the new Adore gets to take care of New Jeans better and give them a reality check. And I really hope so for New Jeans' sake.